So after a lot of delays, Black Widow is finally out, and I'm excited to talk about it, so let's get right into it. It felt good to go back in and see an MCU movie. I'm enjoying the MCU shows that they have on Disney Plus, I am, but there's just something different about watching a new Marvel movie with a fresh batch of audiences around you that haven't seen the movie with you, and you're able to experience that movie together as comic book fans. So a big part of this movie is family, the family aspect, the family dynamic, and that really hits it out of the park is that family stuff. That bond not only between the two sisters played by Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh, but also including the parents played by David Harbour and Rachel Weisz. When all four of them are together on screen, and they do have a large chunk of time together, it really, you would think that it would slow the movie down, but it really doesn't. It actually increases the movie. It increases everything about it. You care about the characters. You want to know more about their family history, the tension between them. It's just all fascinating. And then when they start throwing in the action stuff, that's just a bonus. But what really did it for me the most was the dynamic between Scarlett and Florence. Florence Pugh definitely being the standout for me. I want to see more of this character in the MCU. I'm ready for it. She did a phenomenal job with her first outing. I think she's going to easily become a fan favorite. I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit hesitant about this movie, and it was only because we know how Endgame ends with Black Widow's character. So we're watching the movie for the first time, and I'm wondering, am I going to feel the stakes that I should be feeling in the high intensity action scenes? Am I going to care about the end of this movie, even though I know how Endgame works out? And the answer was yes, I am going to care about Scarlett Johansson's character. I am going to worry about the stakes in this movie, even though I already know that she has to be alive for Endgame. So if you had any hesitation about watching this movie, even though you know how her character ends anyway, throw that out the window and just try and enjoy the movie. If I had to pick a favorite scene out of this movie, without giving away any spoilers, no spoilers in this video, all I'm going to say is the prison break scene is my favorite scene of the movie. Now, something that the MCU has had trouble with in the past is their villains. And once again, we can shine a light on that because the villain in this movie just doesn't work. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and it was a waste. Honestly, it was terrible with the decisions that they did with this movie. The character itself is a badass. Taskmaster is badass. But once we start getting to the end of the movie and you realize the concept behind Taskmaster and the true villain and stuff like that, it just doesn't work, and it really was a waste. They've done this before where there's someone front and center, but then there's someone behind them kind of puppeting them in the shadows. And unfortunately, they go back to that trope. And that was probably the weakest part of the movie for me. But if that's the weakest part of the movie and I was able to enjoy everything else, that's a good thing. This is a good movie. It's not up there with Infinity War or the first Avengers or even Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's not. But it's not down there with Iron Man 2. It's not down there with Thor: The Dark World. It's somewhere in the middle, I would say, with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange. It's in that middle tier of movies. It feels good to share the screen with an MCU audience. It really does. So, are you looking forward to this movie? Did you already get to see it? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And before we go, like a glove.
Snarare det är också bundsut.